Hello all, this is Barbara Mann from Your Empowered You, and welcome to Considerations for Your Smooth Career Transition. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the big decision of making a career transition. And this could be for people who want to explore opening up their own business. It could be people thinking about a completely different career than what they currently have. So there are some things that you can do to help prepare before you just dive off the deep end and quit your current position. There's certain things that you can do to help prepare to make that career transition and do some planning, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So the first thing to think about when you're thinking about this career transition is, why are you making the change? So you're still in your current role, you haven't made the career transition yet, and the first thing to think about is, why are you making this career transition? And the first question that I ask people who are pondering this career transition is, are you running from something? Or are you running to something? And those are two different perspectives. So when I'm saying running from something, that means you don't like something in your current workplace, and it could be that maybe you don't like your boss, maybe there's not promotional opportunities, things of that nature. But my question is, have you exhausted all those efforts to make it a better environment for you? Have you communicated how you felt to maybe your boss on, I want to feel more valued, or I want promotional opportunities? Have you exhausted all efforts where you are to make it better for you? And if that's the case, I would say that you're probably running then to something. So if you're happy and everything's great at your current workplace, but you're running to something that excites you, that is really the feeling that you want, is to run towards something that's really making you feel aligned, feel alive, feel happy. Second question, who wants you to make this change? Is it you who wants to make this change, or is another person? Obviously, the person who you want to make the change is yourself. You have more buy-in, you're going to have more commitment to it. So if you have other people wanting to make the change, it may be a little more difficult to make that change, but if you really, really want to make the change, it makes it far easier. And how do you feel about this change? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you fearful? Are you excited? I mean, obviously, when you're thinking about the unknown, when you're making a career transition, it's going to have that sense of nervousness, right? Anxiety a little bit. But it should be like an excited nervousness, like I'm excited, I'm pumped up. I don't know exactly how this is all going to work out, but I'm excited. The fear is fine. That just means that you're leaning into the discomfort, which I always encourage. Lean into your discomfort, because that's your growth opportunity. You just don't want fear to sort of paralyze you. It should be sort of a nervous excitement going on. So the second thing that I encourage people to do is make sure that you are aware of your core values. Like, what is important to you? What are those core values? I talk about core values a lot in my videos, because whenever you're making decisions in career or any area of life, aligning with what makes you tick makes it far easier to make big decisions. So what's important to you? Family? Is it freedom? Is it work-life balance? What is it? And it helps you to make that career transition far easier, because again, you're aligning with what is really important to you. It provides that sort of clarity that you need when you're making that big decision, and it instills that confidence of your decision, like saying, okay, if I make this career transition, it's going to align with that. And it instills that, again, the confidence, the commitment, the purpose. It really sort of gets you charged up, gets you pumped up that this is the right decision for you. Now, there's certain online resources that you can utilize. I'm just going to talk about a handful real briefly, but there's other online resources that you can utilize along with sort of local resources as well. But couple of online resources. There's onetonline.org, and that provides career descriptions so that one could ponder what different career descriptions look like. There's also a resource library there. They have other sites available, so it's a pretty robust site to take a look at when you're exploring career decisions. There's also a site called assessment.com, and this is a career assessment tool. It's called MAPP, which stands for Motivational Appraisal Personal Potential. So what this helps to do is sort of align who you are with the best career. So some of these sites cost money to get these assessments, just FYI. There's also careerplanner.com, which again aligns with your core values with career decisions. So this helps again to align with what would work best with who you really are and what that career looks like. And these sites are for folks at any stage of their career. So new hires to the middle of your career to career transition, whatever that might look like. These are some sites to just explore. So just FYI. And again, some of them do cost money to get these assessments. But all of this goes into, this proper planning and really knowing your comfort level. So if you make a big decision, say starting your own business, things to think about are, do you have the financial resources to carry you over? Suppose that, your business isn't obtaining the level of income that you originally had. So do you need 6 months of resources, financial resources, 12 months, more? What about benefits? These are things to think about to make sure that you are in your comfort level, because the last thing that you want is when you make this decision is to start panicking about money. So making sure that you feel comfortable with enough financial resources to kind of carry you through until you make potentially the salary that you're making now. Are there educational resources that you need to, say, if you're going to be a teacher? Do you need a teaching credential? Do you need to go back to college? Suppose that you don't feel comfortable with a certain skill set. I suggest, with folks, especially like some people are making transitions and they want to get better versed on computer skills. There are a lot of adult learning type of courses out there where there's 1 or 2 day courses or month courses, not necessarily taking a whole semester, but those are kind of great learning environments for adults who don't have, say, a lot of technical expertise, and so they're fast learning, but they're not full of just college students per se. They're full of folks who are wanting to just learn and grow, new things. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So these are the little catalogs that you may get in the mail, where they offer photography classes, dance classes, but obviously there's a huge section for business, for leadership courses, for certification type courses, computer courses, all those sorts of things. I've taken them for website building. It's a great class. Other things to think about: do you need to have some sort of vocational school? Is there a technical skill that you need that may involve vocational schools? Another thing when you're planning is, what are your transferable skills? So you have a plethora of them, and I always encourage people, write them down. Just write these down. And have a journal and just keep writing what your transferable skills look like. They may not transfer exactly what your career transition is going to be, but most of them will come in handy when you're making that transition. And then finally, think about involving yourself in the community that you want to explore. So there's meetup groups out there, and I would recommend meetup.com, and there are a plethora of meetup groups out there, and they have different sections. So one of them is career and business, and within career and business there's a whole bunch of different network groups to explore. So it gives you a way to start networking, start learning about the community, what do you need, things of that nature. So really what this is all about is just knowing what your comfort level is and kind of planting some seeds out in the community, knowing what you can live with in terms of financial resources so that you're comfortable, because you don't want to be stressed too much about this career transition. The last thing you want to do is stress about money, and that's going to be the biggest thing, is you don't want to stress about money. So making sure that you have those additional streams of income or that little nest egg to get you through. So wrapping this up in a little bow. So understanding the why you want to make this decision. This is a big decision. It's huge. It's fantastic. It's exciting. So really knowing why do you want to make this change is critical. And who wants you to make this change? Make sure it's aligned with your core values. It makes this decision a whole lot easier. Use resources if you need. We talked about some online resources or probably some local resources that you can utilize as well. Have a plan. Understand, what is your nest egg? What kind of nest egg do you need? What kind of community involvement do you want to participate in? There's ways to do this before you actually take the leap of faith and jump off the proverbial career transition cliff. But one thing to note, you're going to be excited at first. Everyone's excited, but you're going to have self-doubt. It's going to creep in at any given time, and that's fine. Lean into that discomfort and keep the vision of what that transition is going to look like and what you want it to look like in, say, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It will come to life if you just keep marching forward and understanding that you're going to have potentially thoughts of self-doubt creep in. That's normal. Just lean into it and keep marching forward, keep marching forward. So for those of you who are pondering that career transition, this is an exciting time. It's very exciting. It could be that you don't know exactly what this looks like, but the more that you kind of know who you are and just know fundamentally who you are. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Do you want to do a bunch of public speaking? Do you want to do one-on-one consultations? Do you want to do group things? Do you like customer service? Do you like process? Do you like research? Just knowing those kinds of fundamental things about yourself and writing them down and being really comfortable with that, you're farther ahead than a lot of people. So hopefully for those of you who are considering a career transition, it's exciting. It's wonderful. If you plan, you can make that transition a heck of a lot smoother. So do the planning, get excited, and work your magic. So I hope you've enjoyed our video on items to consider to make your career transition more smooth. I thank you for attending, and for additional resources or to schedule a session with me, please visit my website at www.yourempoweredyou.com. You can email me at bman@yourempoweredyou.com, or you can give me a buzz at 916-633-2555. And I thank you very much and have a very empowered day.